everybody, my name is Tanya and this is my TBR for the Read-O-Rama Readathon. This is the second round of Read-O-Rama. I participated in the first Read-O-Rama earlier in the year. This one is running from the 28th of June till the 4th of July, and I will leave links and other information down in the description so you can find out a little bit more about it. But basically there are several challenges and I'm going to show you what I've got picked out for each of those. So the first challenge is to read 7 books, and I do have 7 things picked out here, so I will go through them now. The next challenge is to read a middle grade book, and this is something that I read right in that kind of age bracket, and something that is a really old favourite and I'm so excited to read, and that is The Invasion by K. Applegate, which is the first book in the Animal series. I spoke about this a little bit in one of my On My Shelf videos, and I also had tweeted about this recently. I was a huge fan of the Animal series as a kid, and I read 40 something of the books and never quite got to the end, and I've recently got these out of storage. They're now sitting on my bookshelf just looking amazing in all their glory. I've completed my collection and I own all of them, and just seeing them there makes me really want to dive back into this world and give them a reread and see what it's like. And I would ultimately like to read all of the books one day and find out how the series ended. So it was only going to be a matter of time since I pulled them out of storage before I picked this up. And so when there was the challenge of reading a middle grade book, I thought it was perfect timing and I couldn't pass it up. The next challenge is to read a fantasy, and this is something that was on my TBR for June already. I haven't read it yet, and I would still really like to get to it this month. So next I have Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in his Reckoner series and is the Year of Cosmere pick of this month. So I'm hoping I can get to it. This one is definitely a lot more modest in size compared to a lot of his books, and it is YA, so I'm hoping it will go fairly quickly. This is probably the biggest thing that I've got on my TBR for this week, but I do still really want to get to it this month, so for a fantasy book. The next challenge is a book with blue on the cover, so I could have gone again with The Invasion by K. Applegate, but I've got something else picked out. This is something that also could have worked for the middle grade book challenge that I am reading The Invasion for. And it's something that I have, it's ridiculous that I've not read it basically, and that is The Witches by Roald Dahl. I loved Roald Dahl growing up. I've said this before. I've watched this movie many times. I've said this before, and I've not read the book. And it's just insane. So this will be another nice quick read for the week, and I'm so looking forward to it. The next challenge is to reread a book, and for this I've picked out one of my school books. This is one of the books I read in year 11, and it is Montana 1948 by Larry Watson. This is something that is a teeny tiny little book. It's not going to take very long to read, so it's perfect for the readathon, and I'm looking forward to rereading it. So the next challenge is to read a book with Rama in the title or author, so the letters R-A-M-A. And this is another one that is ridiculous that I've not read. I never read this one as a child, and that is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. And so we have R in Barrie, A in Barrie, M in JM, and A in Pan, or whichever combination you want to go with, but Rama is in there in a combination. I'm really looking forward to this. This is a favourite of Erica from Erica Able, and I've talked about it with her before and the fact that I've not read it, so I'm really excited to read it and then we can talk about it, and that will be great. I've obviously seen the Disney Peter Pan movie. I've also seen was it early 2000s one with Jeremy Sumpter, and I really enjoyed Hook with Robin Williams. That was another favourite as a child, so I've certainly seen a lot of different Peter Pan things, but I've never read the book. So again, really looking forward to rectifying this. And so the last challenge is to read an ebook or an audiobook, and I picked out an ebook that I've got on my Kindle that I've had for ages that I've not got around to reading, and it's pretty useless to show you this because there's no pictures. This is also probably completely flat. I need to charge it up, or I might just read it on my iPad. I don't know. I'll work that out. But the book that I picked out is Six Gun Snow White by Catherine Valente. Valente is obviously huge on BookTube, especially for her Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland series, and I've not read anything by her at all, but this is the only one that I own. So Six Gun Snow White is a kind of retelling of Snow White, but as a Western, which sounds amazing, and so I'm really looking forward to reading that one as well. And like I said, it's been sitting on my Kindle for ages and I've not read it, and so I'm really looking forward to finally reading something by Catherine Valente and to find out what all the fuss is about, even if it isn't the one that gets talked about the most. And so that gives me 6 books. So to make up the 7th book, I've decided to go with the audiobook part of that challenge as well. So I picked out an ebook. I'm also going to read an audiobook, and for that I've chosen Macbeth by William Shakespeare. This is another of my school books, and last month I read Romeo and Juliet, which was again one of my school books, and I downloaded an audio performance version of it, and I listened while also reading along, and I found that that was a really great experience, so I've decided to do that again. The library also has Macbeth, so I've downloaded that one, so I'm going to listen to Macbeth and read along as my 7th book and as an audiobook. So this is the stack that I've got picked out for the week. Nothing in here is particularly long, although it does make quite a stack when you line it all up, but everything should be quite quick and easy. It will be interesting to see how far I get, but I'm really excited about all of this, so we'll see how I go. So if you're participating in Read-O-Rama, do let me know, and if there's anything from this list that I should make a priority, let me know. As always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! That's it. You've got cobwebs all over your face. Where have you been? Say bye.